Record-breaking flights. Because the size of the airfield enabled heavily laden aircraft to have an extended takeoff run, Cranwell was chosen as the venue for several record-breaking flights. On the 25th of May 1927, a Hawker Horsley took off on an attempt to break the long-distance record. After a flight lasting 34.5 hours, the aircraft was forced down in the Persian Gulf with fuel problems. The distance flown of 3,419 miles constituted a new record, a record to be broken within a few hours by Charles Lindbergh on his New York to Paris flight. At the end of February 1928, one of the station's former wartime flying instructors, Captain W.G.R. Hinchcliffe, returned to Cranwell with a Stinson SM-1 Detroiter Endeavour. Alongside the plane's owner, Elsie Mackay, he prepared for an east-west crossing of the Atlantic. Hinchcliffe took off at 8:35 a.m. on the 13th of March 1928 and was last seen heading out over the Atlantic from the coast of Ireland. Nothing further was heard from him or his passenger, the heiress Elsie Mackay, so it must be assumed that his aircraft crashed into the Atlantic Ocean. This new runway was put to use in 1929 when on the 24th of April the specially designed Fairy long-range monoplane took off on its first attempt at capturing the world distance record for Britain. With a fuel capacity of over 1,000 gallons, the aircraft had a range of over 5,000 miles. Flown by Squadron Leader A.G. Jones-Williams and Flight Lieutenant N.H. Jenkins, the Fairy Long Range made its first non-stop flight from England to India in April 1929. Leaving Cranwell on the 24th, it landed at Karachi after 50 hours 37 minutes flying time, a distance of 4,130 miles and a New England to India record. A second attempt on the record, this time to South Africa, was made in December 1929. The flight ended in disaster when the aircraft crashed into the Atlas Mountains in Tunisia, with the deaths of both officers, Squadron Leader A.G. Jones-Williams and Flight Lieutenant N.H. Jenkins, shortly before takeoff on the second ill-fated record attempt. With the loss of the first aircraft, a second Fairy long range was built, this time with the added refinements of spattered undercarriage and automatic pilot. In February 1933, the world long-distance record was finally captured for Great Britain. The aircraft took off from Cranwell at 7:10 a.m. on the 6th of February. 57 hours, 25 minutes later, the flight ended in Wallis Bay, South Africa, a distance of 5,309 miles. Probably still the longest non-stop flight by a formation of 4 single-engine aircraft was made by 4 Vickers Wesleys of the long-range development flight. Taking off from Cranwell on the 7th of July 1938, they flew 4,300 miles in 32 hours, the flight ending in Ismailia on the Suez Canal, the final long-range flight from Cranwell's runway.